I just started this whole life thing again. April 14, 2014. Today is April 14, 2023. And Chibok girls are 96 Chibok girls are still in captivity, are still not back home. They've not been accounted for. Nobody has said this is what happened to them, this is where they are, this is how they are, this is what is being done to bring them back. Nigeria seems to have moved on. What people don't understand is that moving on is never an option. You move on, it means every of our lives is not important to the government. People don't understand that when something happens to other people, you speak up, not necessarily because, oh, you have to. I don't even know how to put it. You speak up because that could be you. Hi, the Anthony's Family Show. Hello. It's a pleasure having you here. You speak up because that could be you. If you don't speak up, two things happen by not speaking up, by looking the other way, by making excuses for government. Two things happen. One, you give uh, enabling environment for government to abdicate its responsibility and not do the needful, because the rescue, protection of lives and property is the primary responsibility of government, and any government that cannot protect the lives and properties of its citizens is actually not fit to be called the government. So you do that one when you don't speak up, when you just let things be. You give enabling environment for the government to abdicate its responsibilities, and then also you give the criminals, the terrorists, the you embolden them to do more. So that's what happens. You embolden them to do more. And this is what we've had with the issue of Chibok girls abduction. When this happened in 2014, it was supposed to be something that should have brought Nigerians together, irrespective of what your differences were, whether you love the government, you didn't love the government. That's not what is most important. Guests have been taken away. Bring them back home. All of that, oh, conspiracy is done to do this. Who cares? Even if it was the parents that abducted them, go and bring them back. And then you can then prosecute the parents or whoever it was. But Nigerians were busy on all sorts of shenanigans and refused to do this. And well, guess what? The criminals have been emboldened. That's why they've been kidnapping people all over schools. How many people have they kidnapped now? I've seen a lot of people. You know when they say this karma, life, I've seen a lot of people who mocked Chibok girls abduction, who did all. They've also been victims. What people don't understand is that we are all victims waiting to happen. When something has happened to somebody, you don't pray more than the person that it happened to. You are not better than. So that's why you need to sit up, you need to speak, not even for the person that is abducted, but for you, so that you do not become a victim. Let government do something about it before it gets to your turn of becoming a victim. And sadly, that's one thing that a lot of people really don't bother about. People are ready to like, oh, let's go and let's not bother. It can never be my portion. God forbid, and stuff like that. And and that's how people have always moved on, lived on, done their thing. God forbid, that can't be me. This is that else. And at the end of the day, more and more people are just, going through so much. It's affecting all of us. We're all affected. We're all part of it. We're all feeling it. And this is where we are. This is absolutely where we are. This is where we are. 9 years later, still have not. There was a statement my daughter made in 2014, and that statement really broke me. And that statement was that she said, if one of the Chibok girls was an American, they would have been rescued. And I'm like, wow. Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
Afternoon.
Good morning from here. How are you?
I'm fine. Is it morning? It is afternoon.
I said from here, for where I am, it's morning.
Okay.
And how's everything?
I'm fine.
Go ahead with your contribution, please.
Okay. Sorry, just a moment. I'm coming.
Okay. So when it's a topic that if you have something to say, just if not, there's really no need just joining a live show just so that we can see your face. Please, please. There are times for, oh yeah, let's have fun. This is just not. I don't even know. It's crazy. It's really, really, and absolutely crazy. And it just says what Nigeria is all. It's all about. A country where the lives of people don't matter, especially when they are poor. If you're poor, you're faceless, nameless, and voiceless. You're not seen as a human being. You're seen as a mere thumbprint that is important once every 4 years. That's it. That's it. Just once every 4 years. That's when you're important. If you're a poor person in Nigeria. And so when you're if the Chibok girls were children of the rich, nobody would have doubted their abduction. And the state would have done everything possible to have brought them back. They would have brought them back. But because they were children of the poor, they were seen more like collateral damage. Nobody cared, they didn't matter. Forget about it, move on with your life. And here we are. And the Chibok girls abduction was simply a governance failure. There was failure in governance. And that was one of the things we realized in 2014. I was like, look, if you don't fix this governance issue, we'll just continue to go on having all of these repetition of Chibok girls, of more abduction, which is where we are today. Which is absolutely where we are today, where lives don't matter. I know there are a lot of people who, like, 2014, sometimes when I see people talk about, oh, there's so much attacks and in social media, there were no attacks before. I'm like, eh? I joined social media by May 5th, it will be 5 years. Sorry, it will be 9 years that I joined Twitter. And my first tweet was bring back our girls. And I can tell you, I know the amount of hatred that that has elicited. Unbelievable attacks and all of that, just for saying bring back our girls. And I used to say to people, look, if it was my daughter's school that was attacked, I won't be on the streets making them. I won't even need to be on the streets making them out. Because my daughter at that time was at the Regent Secondary School in Abuja. And you had top politician, in short, the vice president's son at that time was my daughter's classmate. That's Namadi Sambo. You had ministers' children, governors' children. That's why I knew Erufai from. When Erufai was doing all that his madness in on Twitter and trying to kind of like, guy, I knew you from. I didn't know you on the street. I knew you as a co-parent in a school. And the first time I saw him was at a coffee morning, coffee. They call it coffee meetings, like PTA meetings, but they're almost they call it fancy name. Sha. And so you had all of this stuff. This and I'm like, if the attack had been in that school, you won't spare any expense. You won't. Nobody will doubt you. So why are you doubting the ones because they are children of the poor? And it hurts. It really hurts in Nigeria where you're treated based on your economic status. First of all, we have children going to school based on their economic status. So children don't meet. They only meet people that they can pay the same kind of school fee that their parents can pay the same kind of school fees with. And for me, Chibok girls just reminded me a lot about my childhood and the suffering, the discrimination, the daring, just to be in school and stuff like that, and being looked upon in certain ways just because you are in school and you're choosing not to get married, you're choosing to be in school and all of that, and the fact that the moment your parents are poor, you are on the fringe of society and you're sort of like not really seen as someone who is part of society. It's crazy, really. It's really an absolutely crazy. And these are some of the things that we really need to do something about if we want to be better as a nation. The most vulnerable amongst us must feel safe. They must be taken care of. They must be a priority. If they are not a priority, we all are not priority. That's the thing. Until the least and the most vulnerable amongst us is taken care of, we all are not taken care of. It doesn't matter that you can afford to have a good life. Everybody is supposed to have a good life. That's what we must be aiming for. That's what we must be going for. That's what we must be angling for. Not just sitting down and thinking that, oh, as long as my children are in good school, so I can send my children abroad, as long as I can have a generator and solar, and what's that other thing that they have, and I can have 24/7 electricity. That's all. Everything is good as long as I can take myself and get the best healthcare in Nigeria or abroad. Everything is good. No, as long as I can tar the road to my estate and have this everything. No, it's not good. It's not good until all of us are good. That must be something we should always have at the back of our minds. We must ensure that we are all we are all protected. We are all taken care of. We are all seen as human beings, citizens, to be protected by government, not the one that only a few people. So if you have a famous name or they know you or you do this, no. The child of nobody must be able to become somebody without knowing anybody. That should be our priority. That should be. It should be our priority. It should be. Really, it should be. You know, until we all are safe, none of us is safe. Until we all are protected, none of us is protected. We're all victims waiting to happen. Some people just think that, oh, it's certain people that it's happening to, it's not to them. Well, yesterday's victims were once survivors. They once thought that it would never happen to them. Today's victims were yesterday's survivors. And tomorrow's victims would be today's survivors. The question always is, who is next? Yeah, who is next? Many people don't think that they are next. Even the person that was victim, the recent victim never thought it to be them. And sometimes when I see people write on social media, I never thought Nigeria will happen to me. I never thought this will happen to me. I get irritated by such statement because it just shows carelessness and inhumanity. Because so when it was happening to the others, you thought you were special. None of us is special. And if we don't do the needful, we'll continue to be victims. It's important that we hold our government accountable. It is. I will end this here and say, let's remember that there are still 96 girls in captivity. Whether you like the government or you don't like the government, or you like the government then or you didn't like the government, it was the government's duty to protect them, and the government failed them. And the government that failed them can fail you and I. Let's not wait until it fails us before we speak out. Thank you, and bye bye.